today. Well, good evening, and it's a pleasure, an absolute pleasure being here today. When I was asked to be one of the patrons, I didn't even hesitate for a moment, because literature, writing, poetry is what I live, I breathe, and I eat on a daily basis. It's the first thing I think about in the morning when I wake up. It's the last thing, and it's not a cliche. It's the last thing I think about when I go to bed at night. In fact, when I'm in bed at night, I'm reciting poetry, keeping the old cogs turning for another day. So yes, now I've been asked to do a poem, and I'm not going to do one actually. I decided I'm not going to do one because I want to give that power, I want to give that platform to the next person who I'll be introducing shortly. But what I did want to do is to just share with you a little bit about the work that I do as a writer and encouraging young people and children to write too. So yes, I've been involved with the Mouth of Poets for about maybe three and a bit years, and worked really hard on the first grant that we got, so that we put a program together and enable the young people that I work with to go on courses like the Argon Residential, which we've just experienced recently. And I can see one of the young poets who's there smiling with me now. We have some sweet memories from that week in Shropshire. Shan't be sharing those with you tonight. Go check my blog, maybe. So working with the Mouth of Poets and encouraging young people to write. But also, I work with children as young as 5 and 6, and using poetry as a tool to aid speaking. I work specifically with children that are classified as EAL. That's children with English as an additional language. And it's absolutely mind-blowing when I sit down with a group of children, 5 and 6 years old, and we're looking at poetry, and we're discussing poetry, and we're critiquing it, and we're discussing it. Children who have issues with speaking are able to dissect poems, and then on the other side of that, to be able to learn that, to be able to recite it by heart. So I think what I'm trying to say really is that writing, that poetry, it has the ability, it has the power to transform people's lives. I myself personally didn't come from a literature-rich environment, and but once I did connect with it, it transformed my life. It took me to higher education, it took me to further education, it took me to being self-employed and working as a writer and as a poet. So it can transform your life, not just even economically, but spiritually too. And that's why I support this bid, and my fingers and my toes are crossed.